me officially welcome all of you to Distribution Utility Meet DUM 2020. Now, this is the 4th annual conference of power distribution utilities for collaborative growth. The lockdown and remote working post-COVID-19 has underscored the importance of reliable electricity supply. Everybody has realized that electricity is the most vital service in today's digital world. The way we work and live has dramatically changed in the last 8 months, with majority of the workforce in most sectors working remotely or work from home. Highly disruptive black swan events like COVID-19 also present never before opportunities for innovation and transformation with profound implications that are gainful in the long term. Emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning and advanced analytics, blockchain, augmented reality, drones and robotic process automation are also being leveraged by utilities for various applications, which is optimizing business models and opening up new business models and new business opportunities as well. Now, since the inception in 2011, India's Smart Grid Forum has been spearheading the movement towards digitalization of utilities in India. ISGF has been organizing Distribution Utility Meet DUM since 2017. Now, DUM 2020 is being conducted on a digital platform, which we all hope you would truly enjoy. DUM 2020 will provide a unique platform for the DISCOM community to share each other's experiences in dealing with COVID-19 challenges and efforts towards automation and digitalization on fast track. Now, as the world is struggling to cope with the new normal and preparing for the next normal, it is imperative that utilities do not make the same mistakes, but learn from each other's experiences and also bring global expertise and experiences to India. We have several experts from around the world who are going to be joining us and sharing their expertise and experiences at DUM 2020, ladies and gentlemen. Now, in India, like I said earlier, tradition calls for a lamp lighting ceremony before every significant occasion. And so now I'm going to request the tech team to help us do that, to begin with the lamp lighting ceremony, albeit a virtual one at this hour. Let's begin. Of the Almighty, and now I'm going to present to you a very special video which will showcase some snippets of DUM from 2017 through 2019. So let's take a look at this very, very important audio visual, please.
ISGF, with support from Ministry of Power, presents the 4th edition of Distribution Utility Meet, DUM 2020. DUM is known for capturing best practices followed by various distribution utilities. It allows discussing on the future technologies and various challenges across utilities. The distribution utilities can collaborate to learn from each other and share their experiences in the field of technology, finance, and the regulations. Post COVID-19, with new challenges, DISCOMs can discuss and evaluate new business models in order to adapt to the new normal and prepare for the next normal. India is currently embarking upwards on its smart grid journey, and to strengthen the utility, DUM brings together all the DISCOMs on a common platform in order to accelerate the nationwide grid modernization. In this journey, ISGF started organizing Distribution Utility Meet since 2017. The first edition was in Bengaluru in association with BESCOM. In 2018, DUM was held in Mumbai in association with Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited and Tata Power Company Limited. The 2019 Distribution Utility Meet was hosted in New Delhi by BSES Rajdhani Power Limited, BSES Yamuna Power Limited, Tata Power Company Limited and Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited. After 3 very successful editions of DUM, ISGF welcomes you all to the Distribution Utility Meet DUM 2020. The themes of DUM 2020 are Digitalization in DISCOMs, Policies and Regulations for the Digital DISCOM, DISCOM Privatization Plan, DISCOMs after COVID-19, 250 million smart meters, and we will conclude with a plenary session on new revenue opportunities for DISCOMs. We welcome you all to be a part of this change. DUM 2020 is powered by Amazon Web Services with host utilities BSES Rajdhani Power Limited, BSES Yamuna Power Limited, Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited and Tata Power Company Limited. Thank you to our technology innovation partner Accenture, technology partners Schneider Electric and RTI India. Our exhibition partners SNC Electric Company, ISMobile and RE Connect. Knowledge partners United States Agency for International Development, USAID, New Energy and Industrial Technology Development Organization, NEDO, Japan, the Electric Power Research Institute, EPRI, Florence School of Regulation, FSR, and Rocky Mountain Institute, RMI, and the Ministry of Power for their support to ISGF for DUM 2020. ISGF welcomes you all to the 4th edition of Distribution Utility Meet, DUM 2020.
So those were the snippets, ladies and gentlemen, of Distribution Utility Meet from 2017 to 2019. And now it is really my honor and privilege to introduce the esteemed dignitaries who are joining us for the inaugural session of the Distribution Utility Meet, the 4th edition 2020. Let me first take the privilege of introducing our honorable chief guest who is joining us, Shri Sanjeev Nandan Sahai, who assumed charge as Secretary, Ministry of Power, Govt of India. Prior to this, he was serving as the Special Secretary in the Ministry of Power. Shri Sahai is a UT Cadre IS officer of 1986 batch, and he has also served as Additional Secretary in the Ministry of Power from May 2018 to July 2019. Along with that, Shri Sahai has held several very prominent and important positions in the Union as well as the state government. Very warm welcome to him. He is going to be in our inaugural session. A big round of applause. A word. And as I move forward, let me now take the privilege of introducing Shri Ajay Kaul, who heads the States and Local Government India business for Amazon Internet Services Private Limited, and he's here with us. He's an accomplished leader with more than 2 decades of multifaceted experience in the IT industry. With his vision and thought leadership, he has incubated many businesses in large enterprises for policy implementation, operational excellence, and industry partnerships. A very warm welcome to you, sir. And moving further, let me introduce Shri Amal Sinha, the CEO of BSES Rajdhani Power Limited. He is a graduate of Delhi's prestigious SRCC. Mr. Sinha is a chartered and cost accountant with more than 25 years of rich experience under his belt. His deep understanding transcends manufacturing and service sectors with expertise in areas like corporate finance, strategy planning, budgetary and financial control, audits of various kinds, Regulatory Affairs, Indian Accounting, and also Indian Accounting Standards and Power Distribution. And since 2016, he's been working as the CEO of BRPL, a joint venture between Reliance Infrastructure Limited and the Delhi government. So a warm welcome to you, Shri Sinha. Let me now take the privilege of introducing our next speaker and welcoming Dr. Anshu Bhardwaj, who is CEO of Shakti Sustainable Energy Foundation. He was a member of the Indian Administrative Services 1992 batch Karnataka cadre. He worked in the state government in various capacities, and in 2007 he joined as Executive Director of Center of Study of Science, Technology and Policy, and helped establish CSTEP as a leading technology policy think tank. He functioned as ED of CSTEP till 2020, and he has expertise in technology and policy aspects of energy and environmental sectors. A very warm welcome to you, Dr. Bharat. Let me now take the privilege of welcoming and introducing Shri Kapil Mohan, Principal Secretary, Energy, Karnataka. Shri Kapil Mohan is a 1990 batch Indian Administrative Services Officer of Karnataka cadre. Presently, he is serving as Principal Secretary, Energy Department and Infrastructure Development Department of Karnataka Government. And previously, he was Director, Distribution in Ministry of Power, Government of India, and played a key role in large programs like APDRP and RAPDRP, which laid the foundation for transformation of distribution utilities in India. Warm welcome to you, Shri Mohan. Now, let me introduce and welcome Shri Praveer Sinha, the MD of Tata Power Company Limited. He is the CEO and Managing Director of Tata Power Company Limited, TPC Mumbai, India's largest power integrated company with a significant international presence. The company has its presence in all the segments of power sector: fuel and logistics, generation, transmission, distribution, and trading. And Mr. Sinha has nearly 34 or more years of experience in generation and distribution sector. Warm welcome to you, Shri Sinha. A round of applause. I'd like to now welcome Ms. Karen Klimovsky, who is a career member of the US Senior Foreign Service and assumed the duties as the Indo-Pacific Coordinator at USAID India in April 2019. Prior to her assignment in India, Ms. Klimovsky served as a Foreign Service Officer with USAID in Manila, Philippines, Kampala, Uganda, Nairobi, Kenya, and Jakarta, Indonesia. Prior to joining USAID, Ms. Klimovsky worked for the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, where she served in a variety of roles. So I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to you, Ms. Karen Klimovsky. Let's have a big round. And with that, let me now take the privilege of introducing and welcoming Dr. G. Ganesh Das. He's a PhD in the area of strategic marketing and consumer behavior from Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, India. Postgraduate in management and LLB from University of Delhi, besides having an executive qualification on export management from Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. He's a visiting scholar at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Cambridge, Massachusetts, USA, and honorary fellow at the Center of Urban Energy in the Faculty of Engineering and Architectural Sciences, Ryerson University, Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He is the head Collaborations, Innovation and R&D at Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited. Warm welcome to you, Dr. Das. Round of applause. And with that, let me now take the privilege of introducing and welcoming the President of India Smart Grid Forum, Mr. Reji Kumar Pillai. Since its inception in 2011, he's been the president and is also the chairman of Global Smart Energy Federation since November 2016. He is an internationally renowned expert with nearly 4 decades of experience in the electricity sector and diverse functions covering the entire value chain and across continents. And he's spearheading a mission to leverage technology to transform the electric grid in India and provide clean and reliable electricity to every citizen 24/7 at affordable cost. He's sitting next to me telling me not to read his profile, but let's extend a warm welcome to him. She's grateful for my pleasure. And finally, I'd like to I'm going to introduce the lady, Ms. Reena Suri, later as well, but she's the Executive Director, India Smart Grid Forum, and let's extend a round of applause. She's going to be a part of the inaugural session. So with that, now I'm going to hand over, this virtual stage to the President of India Smart Grid Forum, Sri Reji Kumar Pillai.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to 1,000 plus participants of Distribution Utility Meet 2020 from various geographies. As we enter the 9th month of lockdown in most part of the world, this change has also brought immense change, and this has brought benefits also. The previous editions of Distribution Utility Meet we used to conduct in a conference room where 250 to 300 people, participants used to attend. Today we have over 1,000 people from around the world. This is a major change which has happened. I often hear people complaining about the lockdown, but that has its positives also. Uh, since we are conducting this program on a digital platform and our inaugural session guests are from different parts of India, one of our participants need to leave for an urgent meeting. And before I complete my welcome speech, I will request Mr. Kapil Mohan, Principal Secretary, Energy, Government of Karnataka, to deliver his speech. I had the honor and opportunity to work with him 10 years ago when he was in Ministry of Power as Director of Distribution, uh, working on the RAPDRP and other major transformational programs. So I'll request Mr. Kapil Mohan to deliver his speech, and thereafter I will continue with the my welcome address. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Kapil Mohan.
Good morning to all the participants and many familiar faces who are joining here, and Mr. Reggie for keeping the flag flying for all those years. I'm sorry, I have to play the spoiler. I had thought that I would spare some time, but I'm Secretary Energy as well as Infrastructure, so I have to leave for a meeting. So I'll keep this very short, and I will finish it very soon. Uh, it has been a journey since APDRP, and when we took up the trend of digitalization, and in the middle started using the word smart for us, so where we married ICT with the power sector, and now we seem to have reached a level of maturity as of now. The primary drivers earlier used to be, of course, the reduction of the AT&C losses, but over the years we have added reliability of power and also making the grids more responsive and reactive to changes around us. The last few months, COVID-19 has played havoc with all of our economies, and most of the sectors have have faced this pandemic, and which was most unexpected, to say the least. As far as the energy sector of the state is concerned, we were also faced with a drastic fall in the demand, faced with power capacity and fixed charges on the one hand, and also uh, falling demand on one side. We had a problem of access, and access also in sense because the Karnataka state is a leader in renewables. We have almost two-thirds of our energy mix from the renewables. So it was a double whammy, if you may say so, and there was a severe financial crisis. Some amelioration steps have been taken, which are not obviously sufficient. Now, coming how we have dealt with and how we need to go ahead with these changes in future. Obviously, one is always wiser after the event. So we are going to take a serious look into our energy mix, also to make grid more reactive and responsive to the integration of the renewables. Otherwise, it appears as if the state is paying a price for its high level of renewables vis-a-vis rest of the country. As far as bringing the smartness into the grid is concerned, we would like to complete the long pending work of the energy auditing in the distribution sector. Uh, and which basically is not only the smart meters at the home levels, but also into the DTC level metering element, which has been severely conspicuous by its absence in our this thing. As far as the state is concerned, we have done well on the feeder level. This is the critical element linked with the GIS, which would help us to achieve our objectives. We are also trying to move more into automation so that we can deal in a more effective manner with the variability in the renewable component, particularly solar and wind. And we are working on those direction both at the sub-transmission and as well as at the distribution level. There has been significant move in distributed generation of renewables that also includes the rooftops, which also pose different challenges for the utilities to manage it effectively, particularly if they tend to reach in double figures as part of the total energy mix. So those are the roadmaps which we are designed for ourselves in the coming times, and we will be glad to share these experiences with the utilities. I take this opportunity to also thank all those who have organized the meet. I look forward to the deliberations. I'm sorry for the short address, but I need to leave now with best wishes. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Kapil Mohan. My screen share. Yeah, I was talking about the lockdown and the 9 months of we enter into the 9th month of lockdown, and often people complain about being away from the normal life. But I often tell them, just imagine this has happened 25 years ago. We had no internet, we had no mobile phone, we had no e-commerce. In 1990s, early 1990s, if the same lockdown would have happened, what would have happened? How we would have coped with? Today, you can order from your vegetables to grocery to everything. You can order online, which will be delivered in your house. You have social media, you have TV, you have Netflix, you have all kind of things to keep you busy, not getting bored. Just imagine the Spanish flu 100 years ago. There's only telephone in for less than 0.1% population those days. And going back to the 17th century, the great plagues which happened, we were told that Sir Isaac Newton was in quarantine for 4 years in some castle. Just imagine what else he could have done those days. No telephone, no TV, no internet, no social media, not even newspapers those days. And he could not have done anything but writing Principia Mathematica. So the brighter side is that today we are able to conduct these kind of programs where people can participate from everywhere. And many people have become more busier than in the previous pre-COVID days. One could attend one program in one geography. Today they could attend several programs, meetings in various geographies. So we should thank God for having this lockdown in an era when we have all these technologies and all this comfort. So when we meet people of late, many of them tell that, oh, we know ISGF, you are an event management company. Oh, well, which is your next event? We closely follow. So it gives us a big shock every time I hear this. So I decided to, in this audience, in this forum, to tell us what all we do, in addition to, let me just share the screen again. Yeah, is this visible? I'll just share the screen. I have few points just to tell everybody about our the regular job which ISGF does. This is not event management. We do hardcore advisory jobs, standard development, a variety of activities we do. And some of the key things which we have done, we would like to take you through in next 5 minutes. And ISGF, as many of you know, is established as a public-private partnership initiative by Ministry of Power in 2011, registered as a not-for-profit society. And over the years, we have more than 200 members, and we have 8 working groups. And some of the main achievements or big jobs we have done over the years, it's going to be almost 10 years next year, we will complete a decade. And first, main output from ISGF was a smart grid vision and roadmap for India, which was issued by Ministry of Power in 2013. We also made the energy storage roadmap for India for the period 2019 to 2032. This was published in 2019 October. We assisted MOP for the framework for National Smart Grid Mission. We worked with the Ministry of Telecommunications on the machine-to-machine communication roadmap and also rollout of IPv6 for power sector. And also we recommended Ministry of Communications for release of 10 megahertz of license fee spectrum for M2M communications. TRAI in 2018 recommended for 7 megahertz with technical feasibility. The Wireless Planning Committee recommended or approved release of 6 megahertz, which is supposed to happen before March 2021. And this is a major achievement. In the last auction price, it's equivalent to $12 billion worth of free spectrum the Government of India is releasing for machine-to-machine communication, which is going to help all smart grid, smart city, and IoT applications in the country. We worked with the National Information Infrastructure Protection Center for preparing a framework for cybersecurity preparedness assessment of electric utilities, prepared a manual on cybersecurity for power systems, worked with the Forum of Regulators on the model smart grid regulations, smart meter standard IS 16444 and the communication standard 15958 in 2015-16 time frame, and presently we are working with BIS on the and all other stakeholders on the electric vehicle charging standards, the 17017 series, which is still in progress. We advocated for green number plates, clearly recognizable number plates for electric vehicles, so that a variety of benefits can be offered to electric vehicles. We advocated for separate electricity tariff for electric vehicle charging, presented to FOR in 2016, and Delhi was the first Electricity Regulatory Commission which issued a separate electricity tariff for EV, a much concessional tariff than the commercial rate in 2017 itself. So a business model for smart metering as a service, we proposed in a white paper in 2017, which is being now adopted by the whole country. And we all, in our white paper in 2018, we advocated that all new buildings, large complexes, should have a dedicated 20% of the parking space come with EV charging points, which is again adopted by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. We also advocated in our 2017 report that electric two-wheelers and three-wheelers should be sold without batteries, and so that the cost of electric vehicles will be much lower than the current ICE engine-based vehicles, and the battery should be treated as fuel, which today we pay for diesel or petrol. We work closely with several international standard development agencies like IEC, IEEE, G3PLC Alliance, etc., and also with the Energy Blockchain Consortium and Energy Web Foundation. And we also started a close coordination on the smart energy standardization part between IEC and IEEE, and launched the IEC IEEE World Smart Energy Coordination Workshop in 2017. 4 editions we have successfully completed here. And some of the major other work which we have done include a smart grid handbook for regulators and policymakers, implementation plan for electrification of public transportation in Calcutta in 2017, one of the first major work on electric mobility done in India, and which has actually triggered several other agencies to work on electric mobility. There are more than 100 reports which has published in the last 4 years which preceded after this. We also conducted several other studies during this period. We helped BSES with a smart grid roadmap, and also world's second largest utility, PTPL in Indonesia, which has 77 million customers and 62,000 megawatt of electricity generation capacity. For a smart grid roadmap, they have appointed ISGF, and we completed that successfully last year. We also helped the West Bengal Transport Corporation in establishing charging infrastructure for the 80 electric buses which they rolled out, for which this is the largest electric bus rollout in India so far, for which they got the C40 Cities Award last year. And AMI rollout, some of the other research reports, I won't go through the entire list of it. All our work, our reports are available free on our portal indiasmartgrid.org. This is a smart grid vision and roadmap. This is the implementation plan for electric transportation, public transportation in Kolkata, and smart grid handbook. Many of our reports were funded through grants from Shakti Sustainable Energy Foundation and also Makadar Foundation and other charitable institutions. And these two smart grid roadmap work which you have done are also first of its kind done in India or in many parts of the world. And these are some of our white papers. Today we will be releasing 2 white papers at the end of this inaugural ceremony, which are on electric cooking and on replacement of DG set with lithium-ion batteries. So on the knowledge dissemination part from 2013, we, along with India Smart Grid Task Force, which was an inter-ministerial task force which was set up along with India Smart Grid Forum in 2011 by Ministry of Power, and this task force later merged with the National Smart Grid Mission. So that time, jointly ISGTF and ISGF launched this Smart Grid Knowledge Portal in January 2013, and which is today we maintain it. It's one of the most vibrant portals on smart grids and smart cities anywhere in the world. And in 2014 January, we launched a Smart Grid Bulletin, which capture the smart grid developments around the world, and we circulate more than 55,000 copies electronically over 110 countries. So we also conduct webinars on latest technologies and also do case studies on smart grid projects, successful projects around the world. Our 2 major events which we do is the India Smart Utility Week, which we started in 2015. This is in the March every year, and we've been very lucky that this year we could complete that before the lockdown, the first week of March. Indeed, this was the largest public event conducted in India before the lockdown. And next year, we think this will also be on a digital platform, which is scheduled from 2nd to 6th of March 2021. And this program, Distribution Utility Meet, as we already explained, we are conducting from 2017. And on the training programs from 2014, we have been conducting training programs on some Smart Grid Foundation course, Smart Grid Bootcamp, cyber security for power systems, the smart metering or advanced metering infrastructure program, electric mobility and charging infrastructure, certificate course in smart grid for which is a 10-week long residential program also we have conducted. This year after the lockdown, we realized that the classroom sessions will not happen anytime soon. Our programs we have taken online, which has become very successful, and people from around the world now participate in our program. 4 programs successfully we have delivered, and over 1,000 people from around the world participated in the first 4 programs, and a blockchain applications for utilities we will be launching in January 2021. We do a lot of international collaborations. We've been instrumental in NEDO funding one of the smart grid pilot projects in Panipat, which has been successfully completed. We also have worked very closely with the USTDA and USAID and other US agencies. Several demonstration projects were done. We collaborate with SARC Energy Center. We work very closely with the ASEAN Center for Energy, and we organized a 5-day training program for them in 2018. 17 delegates from 18 countries came, we hosted, and also we conducted a roundtable on interconnection of regional grids in Asia, that is connecting the SAR grid or the Indian continental grid with the ASEAN grid in the east and the GCC or Gulf coordination countries grid in the west, which gives almost 5 hours of time difference from Singapore to Saudi Arabia, which is very beneficial for all these grids in renewable energy integration as we move forward. We are also a secretariat. ISGF functions as a secretariat for Global Smart Grid Federation, which a couple of months ago we renamed as Global Smart Energy Federation. And we are also the India chapter for Energy Blockchain Consortium. And our executive director, Reena Suri, is the global ambassador for Energy Web Foundation. We proposed blockchain applications in utilities, and we have been conducting bilateral workshops, which we have done 9 editions between EU and India, and this dialogues has actually helped the Horizon 2020 programs of European Commission to come to India. So there are one project already under implementation, and the second call which was there early this year. There are 53 proposals which are under evaluation. 5 or 6 projects will be announced very soon. We have conducted a bilateral workshop with Canada. We have done with 4 editions with Sweden. With the USA, 6 editions we have done. These dialogues have actually shaped several energy cooperation programs which USAID and other agencies from US government conducting in India, and same with the India France Smart Grid workshops. And we take large delegations from India to international events to give them exposure. So in the beginning, people used to think that taking delegations from here is a foreign junket. Today, nobody talks about it. We bring experts from around the world to India for our programs. We take key decision makers from India, regulators, utility chiefs, and others from here for programs like Plenary Session, the biannual event which happens in Paris every 2 years. We have been taking since 2012. European Utility Week, CIRED, all these programs we have taken hundreds of people over this last 10 years. This year there are no major physical events happening. Our current projects, some of them which we are doing, include a time of use tariff framework in Gujarat, which is funded by Shakti Sustainable Energy Foundation. EV charging detailed planning study which we are doing, it's again in Bangalore, funded by Shakti Foundation. And we are also doing a peer-to-peer trading of electricity from rooftop solar on blockchain platform. This is in Lucknow. This is a first of its kind project in Indian subcontinent, and soon we will be we just started a similar project in Delhi also with one of the distribution companies, and we are also doing hand holding to distribution companies on smart metering rollout in Gujarat. Our new focus areas are grid integrated vehicles. We have always been advocating that AC slow charger should be V2G facility, and electric cooking, and also district cooling systems. Interconnection of regional grids, which I said. Urban air mobility is something which is new, and we want to do some pilot studies in India in collaboration with NASA, and wireless transmission of electricity, which demonstrated successfully in the lab by a New Zealand company. We are in collaboration with them already to undertake some trials in India, and also smart power infrastructure for rural villages and schools. With this, I come to welcome our distinguished guest for the inaugural ceremony, Sri Sanjeev Nandan Sahai, our Secretary, Government of India, so Ministry of Power, and also Ms. Karen University, Acting Deputy Director, USAID India, and also India Pacific Coordinator. Tata Power, Managing Director of Tata Power Company Limited, and also a strong supporter and of India's Market Forum, who served in our board in the past. Mr. Kapil Mohan, who has just finished his speech and left, and he in fact was the idea behind incorporation of India's Market Task Force. Sri Anil Sinha, CEO of BSES Rajdhani, and Sri Anshu Bharadwaj, CEO of Shakti Sustainable Energy Foundation, one of the main foundation ISGF, and Mr. Ajay Kaul from services, who are supporting this program. And a very warm welcome to all of you, and thank you very much for agreeing to join this program. I hand over to Aishwarya, our host. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. I'd like to thank Shri Pillai for rendering that welcome address, ladies and gentlemen. And now I'm going to invite Shri Ajay Kaul, Head States and Local Governments, Amazon Web Services, to please address all of us. He's going to be making a special address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Namaskar, everyone. And I would like to take on from where Mr. Pillai left that, had this pandemic happened in the earlier days when there would have been no internet, there would be no gadgets around us, how difficult it would have been. But before I do that, I would want to really appreciate and thank India Smart Grid Forum for putting this whole quorum together, getting the DISCOM community together and allow all of us to share and learn from each other on the best practices as we move ahead. And on the same lines, I think all of us have seen a very, very difficult time, not only in the initial part of the pandemic, but as we move towards lockdowns, life literally came to a standstill. And I really want to today take this opportunity to thank all the employees of power utility sector, irrespective of any location, any geography, for tremendous quantum of work that they have relentlessly been doing to ensure that the lights are on, in true words. Because imagine in these times when people could not go out of their homes, the power utility sector was one sector which ensured that irrespective of any situation, we had uninterrupted services across the board. And that led to all of us being comfortable in our cozy homes with all sorts of gadgets surrounding us and not getting too much hassled while securing and staying safe. So really appreciate all the efforts by all the folks from the power utility sector. You have really done a commendable job in ensuring that we all stay connected during this time. All right, so now as we move ahead during these couple of days, I think there's going to be a lot of sharing that's going to happen. But I think while there has been already a transformational journey that has been started on the digitization front at DISCOMs across the world and in India as well. There has been steps taken before pandemic by a lot of DISCOMs in the various areas. But I think the time has now come because this pandemic has literally shaken us in terms of, how crisis can really put us, on a back foot. So I think the time has come when DISCOMs need to take some giant steps to improve the sector's operational and commercial performance to make it sizable and sustained impact. So digital transformation and adopting modern technology, including cloud, is going to be a very, very crucial factor or an enabler of this transformational change. So with that, I once again thank ISGF for getting this quorum together and look forward to a lot of rewarding and meaningful discussion and hearing some of the success stories across the world and how we could make a difference to this whole new era of DISCOMs as we move ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shri Kaul, for that wonderful address. It's a bit of a... And all right. So as I thank Shri Kaul for that wonderful address and motivating us, I am now going to take the privilege of inviting our next speaker. May I invite Shri Amal Sinha, CEO, BSES Rajdhani Power Limited, to please render his address now. Sir, please. Shri Amal Sinha.
Good morning, everyone. I must thank ISGF and Mr. Reji Pillai to have come forward always and taken initiative to revitalize this sector in every possible way. So thank you, Reji, for organizing this. I also wish to thank Mr. Ajay Kaul for appreciating the, I must say, extraordinary efforts done by the distribution sector in this very, very challenging times. We have also started calling us as power warriors, and we are trying to motivate our team so that they are there on the field for 24/7, meeting all the challenges at the field level. Thank you, Ajay, for this. Um, Let me say that India Smart Grid Forum is an annual event for the distribution utility meet, and it is a very important forum for meeting of minds of different stakeholders, exchange of innovative ideas and business opportunities. In view of special conditions, as you know, this has been converted into a virtual event with a very apt theme, the digital utility. Last almost since March, as we have seen how we have to reboot the entire human civilization, and it has revealed that nature has super self-healing power also. The usage of digital platform means in every walks of life has seen massive increase in the last few months. And interestingly, people have adapted to the new situation pretty fast than normally what we expect. Utilities are no different, and we have embraced changes in our stride and turned this threat into an opportunity for serving our consumers with digital means while maintaining social distancing norms. The DUM platform of 2020 has aptly focused on the digital theme and new business models for distribution utilities in view of the multiple disruptions which we have seen or which we are likely to see, such as the electrical mobility, energy storage, and other distributed energy resources. Paramount is on how we can digitize our services with the consumers, which we are actively pursuing at the distribution front. With government focus on greening the grid, RE integration has accelerated the transition of traditional DISCOMs in distribution system as an operator role, and thereby alternate business models are also being explored. BSES Rajdhani is a very progressive utility and has been undertaking several digital initiatives towards energy transition and smarter grids, enabling improved customer service. We are proud to be leaders in deployment of rooftop solar. We have installed 72 megawatts so far, and we are likely to touch almost 100 megawatt by the end of this year. And we are also taking various steps for greening our portfolio while taking strides for green mobility solutions. Regulatory and policy support is a must so as to carry out this transition successfully to make us a more greener utility and moving away from the legacy coal contracts without causing pain to the entire ecosystem. Our integration requires tighter control over grid operations, which is a challenge for us, and requires evolution of data availability mechanism on real-time basis and institutional and technological framework for balancing the RE power. I am happy to see innovative regulatory and policy initiatives in the direction of power market reforms, latest one being the real-time market and the green term ahead market, thirst on Atmanirbhar Bharat in the space of RE technologies, including energy storage and RE related manufacturing in India. I'm looking forward to interesting sessions and covering some of the aspects which I wish would be very important for us as a sector. And I really wish to congratulate ISGF and thank all the team members who have organized this platform for a very focused and for much desired discussion on the subject. Thank you, ISGF.
Thank you very much indeed, Shri Sinha, for that special address. And moving forward, let me now invite Dr. Anshu Bhardwaj, He's the CEO of Shakti Sustainable Energy Foundation. May I request you to please render your special address, sir?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be in this event today. I thank Mr. Reggie Pillai and ISGF for the kind invitation. It's a pleasure to listen to distinguished speakers before me, Mr. Kapil Mohan, Mr. Ajay Kaul, Mr. Amal Sinha, and of course, Reggie Pillai. Reggie has been in this sector for such a long time and has made immense contributions to this area. I'll just be very brief. Mr. Kapil Mohan's presence brought back memories of the RAPDRP about 10, 12 years back when he was Joint Secretary, Ministry of Power. And that time we had the chance to work on some aspects of it. That time there was a report which we published, C-STEP, along with the Infosys, which explored the role of technology in power sector. So I was thinking, what has changed in the last 10, 12 years? Now, if I were to go back to RAP-DRP of 2008-9, that time the main focus of RAP-DRP was loss reduction and improvement of the efficiency of the DISCOMs. So how can we bring down the technical losses? How can we eliminate the commercial losses by use of technology? That was a fundamental core theme of RAP-DRP. The renewables and all other things were really not there. It was just on the fringes, and we didn't even think of those things. 12 years down the line, what has changed? So what has worked well is the fact that obviously access has significantly increased. Almost all our villages now have access. The quality of power is a definite improvement. Load shedding, which used to be the norm during those days, has almost gone now. In fact, we are now in a situation of overcapacity and we have stranded assets. So it's a different paradigm shift from that side. And of course, there has been a definite improvement in the technical T&D losses and even commercial losses. There are statistics to say that overall there is a significant improvement in the losses, reduction in the losses in the last 10 years, thanks to interventions under RAP-DRP. What has not really changed is the core issues of business models of most utilities, which is the DISCOM's financial health. Most DISCOMs continue to be under financial distress despite the bailouts from the government through various schemes. The problem remains the same. Save a few DISCOMs which have done pretty well and are operating financially well. The COVID, as Mr. Kapil Mohan also mentioned, took a big hit on most DISCOMs because of tanking of the demand, especially the paying consumers. And so that is a most recent hit to DISCOM's financial health. The other thing which has changed in the last few years, I would say 5, 7, is that clean energy technologies, which was not an agenda, say a decade ago, is now an important instrument in which DISCOMs are a key player. So DISCOMs are now a key instrument in the diffusion of clean energy technologies. And I really appreciate Mr. Amal Sinha's comment that the utility has installed more than 70 megawatts of solar rooftop photovoltaics. But what I'm trying to say is, in many utilities, adoption of solar RTPV systems is an important objective. Utilities are going in for electric vehicles, which require a different design in terms of developing charging infrastructure. Some utilities are looking at solar-based irrigation systems in rural areas. And of course, there is the talk about smart metering and energy efficient appliances. So this calls for a redesign of the architecture, the technical architecture, to accommodate the diffusion of these technologies. And so in that sense, we are currently in a transition, very interesting phase of utilities, where how we enable this transition will be crucial to India's achieving the overall goals in our commitments to in climate and clean energy. Other point finally is this: what this highlights is the role of consumer, because consumer is no longer a passive uh, player in the scheme of things. So, for example, if I install a solar RTPV on my rooftop, which is grid connected, then I am interfacing with the grid, and the consumer will expect a certain level of service delivery from the DISCOM. Likewise, if somebody installs a solar irrigation system in a rural area of Karnataka, again, he or she is interfacing with the grid and expects a certain level of quality in connection and the billing and metering systems. So I think these are very interesting times for the utilities, challenges plus opportunities also. How we navigate these things, I'm sure with the quality of our leadership in several utilities, I'm very confident that we should be in good hands. And thanks to supports by Mr. Pillai, ISGF, who have been rock solid in their support to utilities, is a big help. From Shakti side, we have been linked to ISGF for a very long time, as Mr. Pillai himself said, in multiple studies across cities and states, and we will be most happy to be associated going forward as well. So with that, I thank once again all the organizers for the wonderful event and for the kind invite to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. A very hopeful special address, and hopefully we will be able to navigate challenges and opportunities when it comes to utilities very successfully moving forward. And let me now invite our next speaker, Shri Praveer Sinha, Managing Director, Tata Power Company Limited. Shri Sinha, may I request you to please take over?
Good morning to everyone, and thank you, Ashwarya, for inviting me. Thank you, ISGF, for the opportunity to come and speak in the fourth edition of the Distribution Utility Meet. Reggie and Reena and the ISGF has been doing phenomenal work in bringing to the fore a platform like DUM and the ISGF Week, which the Smart Grid Week, which happens in the month of March, to bring the necessity of automation and smart grid in the utility space. And I think the awareness level and the exposure that has happened is phenomenal in last few years. And I do hope that many of the issues which are discussed in these forums gets implemented. Let me try to unravel some of the challenges which the sector has been facing, and especially uh, both Kapil and Anshu mentioned about RAPDRP. And I think it was a great program where under RAPDRP Part A, the IT system was to be implemented and the SCADA and the GIS. Unfortunately, it has not happened to the extent what it was envisaged last 10, 12 years. Uh, uh, this has not given the type of results. I travel around the country and I find that there are still many DISCOMs who have not implemented. If the SCADA is implemented, the software is not there, the automation has not been done, and thereby there is no data acquisition and there is no supervisory control. In fact, many of the places the technology has become obsolete. The SCADA system is used more for playing computer games rather than controlling the network for which it has been done. The GIS which was done has not been upgraded, and there is huge amount of work that needs to be done, whereby on a regular basis, whatever are the assets which are being put in the network, that needs to be upgraded. So I think uh, these forums are very, very important to once again bring back uh, to the discussion table that how do we implement these technologies? These are not standalone technology. The distribution automation is not standalone. It has to work along with the SCADA system and the GIS. And these all have to speak to each other. Similarly, on the customer relationship management, that is the billing and collection software, most of the places, again, the softwares are not integrated. They do not give you the type of information which would have helped the DISCOM to analyze who have paid, who have not paid. The full billing system is not there. So I think there is huge amount of work, and the agenda on the table is how do we make all these technologies, all these systems speak to each other and bring the benefit both to the consumer as well as to the utility. And so the glass is, I would say, not, it's not only half empty, it's quite a bit empty, and a huge amount of work has to be done. The second aspect is that the whole objective of doing all bringing the automation and the IT system is to provide better customer service. Unfortunately, that also has not happened, and many a times I visit state discoms, customer care centers, and I find that in name of customer care center, it is very badly managed. In fact, some of the places I see that they have the mesh, which has the wire mesh, which has been put over there. It has never been cleaned in last 20, 30 years. Neither the person sitting inside can see outside, nor the person sitting out, or the person giving the bill can see who is inside. So it's just a hand which goes inside, and the bill is paid. And so I think there is huge amount of work that has to be done. And I think the very purpose of having a platform like this is sharing the good examples. Amal mentioned about excellent work that he and his team are doing in Delhi. And I think that's important, that the learnings over there, how they have implemented the SCADA system, how the large number of penetration of rooftop solar is happening. And still he's able to take care of the grid requirement, because uh, rooftop solar is intermittent power and it comes and goes. How the aspects of frequency and also harmonics he's taking care. So there are large number of good examples in the country. There are discoms which have done phenomenally well, and they are state of the art and as good as anywhere else in the world. But there are large number of discoms who have not adopted the new technologies, and especially the digital technology, which can really transform the way they can service the consumers and also improve their financial capability. One of the big reasons why people are not able to, or the discoms are not able to be financially viable, is not just the AT&C losses, which includes the collection, is because the billing is wrong, and many of places the billing is not being done. Many of places the meters are not working, and until and unless these are fundamental things which are taken care, we'll continue to have huge challenges in the distribution sector. Their financial viability will always be under question, and any type of investment that will have to come in the power sector, whether it is in renewable space or it is in smart metering and creating the automated metering infrastructure, will always be under question. So I feel that the sessions which have been planned for next 2 days are addressing all these issues, including regulatory issues, that how regulators need to approve tariffs and make it cost reflective, how the cross subsidy has to be reduced so that the industrial and commercial consumers don't end up cross subsidizing the other types of consumer, and thereby becoming non-competitive in terms of their products and services. How regulatory process should help in real-time market, and also incentivizing good performance, including aspects of ancillary market. So I think there are a whole lot of things which the power sector needs to address and needs to sort out. I'm sure with the type of effort that is being made through these platforms, and the information and sharing of knowledge that takes place, we'll be able to come up with much stronger and better utilities going forward. So my best wishes to the organizers and all the people who are attending this program for next 2 days. There is huge amount of work that can be done, and we can really transform the way the power sector has been working in this country. Uh, Maybe this decade we will sort out all the issues, all the challenges the power sector has been facing for last many decades. We have good generation capacity, but our distribution sector needs similar improvement. And I'm sure this will happen sooner than later. So thank you very much for the opportunity and all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. Unmute. Thank you very much, Sri Sinha. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to bring the benefit to both consumers and utilities, like Sir said, enormous work needs to be done and we need to stay motivated. And I'd like to say thank you, Sri Sinha, for inspiring us to have relevant deliberations during these 2 days of the Distribution Utility Meet 2020. Thank you once again. And with that, let me now take the privilege of inviting the lady on the panel, Ms. Karen Klimovsky. I request you, ma'am, to kindly now address all of us. She is the Indo-Pacific Coordinator and Acting Deputy Director for USAID India. Ms. Karen.
Great, thank you so much. And good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to all distinguished guests and fellow panelists. I'd like to start by congratulating the India Smart Grid Forum for organizing this event and for providing a venue for fellow utilities and other stakeholders to brainstorm and showcase how we can all create a more consumer responsive and resilient power distribution network. I am very pleased to be a part of today's event. On behalf of the United States Agency for International Development, also known as USAID, I also like to thank you for giving us the opportunity through our SPARK program to contribute to this event. For those of you who are not familiar with USAID, we are the United States government's premier development agency addressing the most challenging development programs facing countries around the globe. As part of the United States government's Indo-Pacific vision, the Asia Enhancing Growth and Development Through Energy, or Asia EDGE initiative, focuses on improving access to affordable, sustainable, and reliable energy for all in South Asia, which is key to ushering in socio-economic transformation and meeting the growing needs and aspirations of the Asian population. Distribution is the most important link in the entire power sector value chain. It is the last component of delivering electricity to consumers and is also the entire sector's revenue generator. Thus, a healthy and viable distribution network is a critical prerequisite to sustained economic growth. The Ministry of Power, under the leadership of Secretary Sahai, has announced several distribution reform initiatives in the last few months. And I sincerely believe that India will be witnessing a transformation in distribution utilities in the coming years that will lead to reliable power and economic growth. USAID, on behalf of the United States government, has been a long-standing bilateral partner of the Ministry of Power, and together we have rolled out several initiatives with a focus on distribution reforms, institutional capacity of utilities, and other pilots. We are jointly implementing the US-India Smart Power for Advancing Reliability and Connectivity program, which we also refer to as USAID's SPARK program. The USAID SPARK program supports the ministry in its initiatives to improve the operational and financial performance of distribution utilities. The program provides technical assistance to the ministry on a range of initiatives, including distribution sector, investment planning, and improving and modernizing utility operations. This includes supporting the ministry on its prepaid smart meter deployment, which I understand is one of the largest smart meter programs in the world. The ministry plans to roll out nearly 250 million smart meters, and the USAID SPARK program is developing a strategic framework for the deployment and preparing standard bidding documents. We are working together on technology, business processes, and institutional capacity to help India complete the rollout in a seamless and timely manner. We have also developed an open source, web-based investment analysis tool that will help stakeholders make informed decisions. The USAID SPARK program is also helping the ministry develop innovative private participation models as part of its ongoing distribution reform. We are facilitating knowledge exchange and institutional strengthening through supporting the ministry in establishing the Smart Grid Knowledge Center as a center of excellence on smart grids, and offering value services, particularly for the Indo-Pacific countries, which may face common challenges and issues. This would be of particular interest to participants who have joined in from various locations outside of India. As some of you are aware, in 2018, the United States government announced the Asia Edge Initiative, which is a key component of our Indo-Pacific vision. So on that front, I am pleased to note the representation of friends from neighboring countries. Regional energy cooperation will help strengthen security, improve trading relationships, and expand access to electricity. Continuing with work under USAID's SPARK program, we have also developed new knowledge capital that brings together global best practices and a variety of collaborative work efforts to build a more secure and smart electricity network. One such initiative is the white paper entitled Improving Resilience of Distribution Utilities, which the Ministry of Power will formally release later today. The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the importance of a resilient energy system. Distribution utilities need to be able to quickly anticipate, prepare, and adapt to changing conditions. They not only need to reduce the severity of risks, but also make themselves resistant to such crises in the future. The white paper provides an overview of the nature of threats faced by distribution utilities and provides measures that utilities can take to mitigate them. I hope all of you find this report very useful. Not forgetting the consumer, who after all is the end goal of all of this work. The Secretary of Power will also launch another report entitled Enhancing Customer Centricity in the Electricity Distribution Sector, which USAID developed in partnership with the National Smart Grid Mission. This report identifies strategies and implementation enablers that transform customer experience in India's electricity distribution sector. I personally found it interesting to learn about the customer's expectations across each of the customer utility touchpoints. The United States and India share development partnerships which spans more than 70 years. And in these 7 decades, energy cooperation between our two countries expanded massively. The United States government recognizes India as both a regional and global power. With India's leadership and the power of private sector innovation, we hope to fuel economic opportunity across India and South Asia, powering India and countries across the region. From the very beginning, our many successes have been based on partnerships, on shared vision, value, and trust. Secretary Sahai, USAID is looking forward to continuing to work closely with you and the Ministry of Power to take forward the priorities of creating a robust network of resilient and efficient distribution utilities, both in India and throughout South Asia. Thank you once again, and stay safe and keep healthy.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that truly wonderful address. And your message, of course, is being sent to Shri S.N. Sahai, Secretary, Ministry of Power, although he couldn't be here with us attending this conference because he had an urgent meeting come up with the Finance Ministry. But the message will definitely be sent. So thank you once again for that wonderful message. And I'm going to request all our speakers, the panelists of the inaugural session, to please show up on their screen. So just start their video so that we can take a group picture of all the panelists in the inaugural session. Can I request Shri Sinha is already there. If I could request Dr. Anshu Bhardwaj. May I request Mr. Ajay Kaul, Shri Amal Sinha. Kindly, Dr. Das is already there, Dr. Ganesh Das. Reena ma'am, you could also come up on screen, and Reggie sir, we're getting him, so that we can have all the panelists and we'll take a snapshot of this. And if we can all smile while we are being clicked in a virtual photograph. Okay, should I mute myself?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We've successfully taken a group photograph of all of you, our esteemed participants, panelists of the inaugural session. And now it's time to release some very crucial white papers. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to request the lady, Ms. Reena Suri, Executive Director, India Smart Grid Forum, but I'm going to take a moment to introduce her. Ladies and gentlemen, brings over 2 decades of experience in the energy sector. She's also in charge of complete activities of India Smart Grid Forum, including research, advisory services, business development, training and capacity building programs, customer outreach activities, members relations and finances of ISGF. And she leads some key initiatives for ISGF, exploring opportunities for research projects under grant from donors, conducting various smart grid related studies, and use of social media by utilities for effective customer engagements. I'm going to hand over the proceedings from here on to you, Ms. Suri, not only for the release of the white papers, but also to inaugurate, to tell us about the exhibition, how we can attend the exhibition of the Distribution Utility Meet 2020. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Ishwarya. And with that, I would like to take an opportunity to extend a warm welcome to all our distinguished guests and participants to the Distribution Utility Meet DUM 2020. So with COVID has given us this opportunity to explore the digital world further and organize. We have taken the opportunity to organize this program digitally. It's a different experience, and sitting in our offices, in our homes, we are able to still connect, though we miss meeting everyone in person, but we are glad that we have this opportunity to meet you digitally and bring all the different stakeholders we wish to bring together for this platform digitally. So with that, taking the program forward, I would like to announce the release of some of the white papers and reports that we have from our partners, our knowledge partners, and ISGS that Next. To start with, I would like to announce the release of a USAID paper on enhancing customer centricity in electricity distribution sector. Next, we would like to announce the release of a paper by Amazon Web Services, a report on serving a digital world India. White paper by India Smart Grid Forum on diesel generator replacement with lithium-ion batteries. We have the next paper released from Accenture. The title is From Crisis to Conquest in Utilities. Another white paper by India Smart Grid Forum on electric cooking, the way forward. Lastly, we have another paper by USAID, a report on improving resilience of distribution utilities. Thank you so much. So all these papers we are releasing today, the links will be shared with all the participants and stakeholders in a mail, and will also be available on ISGF and the partner websites. We'll move on to the slides on exhibition. So digital platform has given us an opportunity to have our partners come together and exhibit their solutions and use cases through a digital exhibition that we have put together. We'll like to welcome all our exhibitors today. Please join me in welcoming all the exhibitors. DUM exhibition, and we welcome all our exhibition partners, BSES Rajdhani, BSES Yamuna, Tata Power Delhi Distribution, Tata Power Mumbai, Amazon Web Services, India Smart Forum, Accenture, Schneider Electric, SNC Electric Company, Mobile, RE Connect Energy. I'll take you through in the next slide how the platform looks like and how you can visit the exhibitors. Just to give you a glance of how the exhibition booths are, so please do take time out to visit all our exhibitors. To start with, we have an exhibition booth by India Smart Forum. We have an exhibition booth by BSES Rajdhani Power Limited. Thought that we will be able to have 3D booths and we'll be able to connect with our desired stakeholders using the digital platforms as well. So meet our next exhibitor, BSES Yamuna Power Limited. We have Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited with us. Next exhibitor is Tata Power Company Limited. Are powered by partner Amazon Web Services. Accenture, our technology and innovation partner. Big round of applause for all the exhibitors who have joined us before DUM 2020. Have our technology partner Schneider Electric. Our exhibition partner SNC Electric Company. We have Mobile, they're displaying smart meter rollout solutions. RE Connect Energy joining us for the exhibition at DUM 2020. So thank you again to all our exhibition partners for joining us, and they will be available to talk to you, to answer your questions, to share their experiences, their solutions with you. Please do visit the exhibition area, and I'll just quickly take you through the platform, what are the different features, and before we get on to the conferences and sessions today.
Thank you very much, Ms. Suli. Thank you for taking us through the exhibition plan as well, how we can go there, how we can actually interact with the exhibitors. And now I'm going to take you through some housekeeping rules. Let's take a look at those on your screens, please. Every delegate user will be allotted. And before I go through the housekeeping rules, let's not forget that Dr. Ganesh Das is still waiting to render his word of thanks. Thank you for being patient with us, sir. I'm going to come to you very shortly. Now, for the housekeeping rules, every delegate user will be allotted a unique login ID and password. Multiple logins from a single ID is not allowed and will automatically log out the user from from the platform. Once logged in, delegates users will be able to see a navigation video of the event, and all delegates should check this video for ease of movement within the platform. The event is compatible across all devices. However, for better viewing, we recommend using a laptop or a desktop. Please ensure quality headphones or a good speaker for optimal sound is also used during the sessions. Every entry point in the event will be marked by a blinking light for ease of recognition for delegates. All delegates must ensure having a broadband or 4G internet speed or above for a seamless experience at the event. For any assistant, users, delegates can connect at the virtual help desk. There's something else we need to take you through. Okay, I'm going to I guess, yeah, I'm going to give it over once again to Ms. Suri to take us through something more relevant about the exhibition. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, Aishwarya. So as I mentioned that this is a digital platform, I'll just take a couple of minutes to take you through how our lobby looks like, how your experience will be getting into the conference and meeting the exhibitors. We have a video we'll be playing. Just give us a couple of seconds. As we enter, this is how our lobby, our digital conference lobby area looks like. We have a help desk on the left. You can click on the left black button if you wish to chat with one of us if you have any queries. And can you just... Sorry, yeah, just pause there. Little back, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so we have on the left a help desk. On the right, we have details of who are the participating utility. If you see a black button on the right side, on top of that, if you wish to see the overall DUM conference agenda, there is a button to click and view that. We have right in the center, we have a conference hall entry. So if you click on the hand button there, you get into the conference and you'll be able to attend the sessions. On the left-hand side of the conference hall is the exhibition hall. So just click on that and you'll be able to see the exhibitors and you'll be able to meet them and talk to them and see the solutions that are displayed there. And to get onto this platform, you would have received a login ID and password separately to log in and come to the lobby area and get into the conference. And on the right-hand side, we have created a networking lounge so that we can, if you wish to meet and chat with one of the participating delegates, that is the best area to go to and chat with that person and network. And on top, we have all our partners who have supported this program, the DUM 2020, with displayed their logos, and individually you can meet them at the exhibition area as well as you can network them in the lounge. So getting on to going to the exhibition hall, I would like to quickly take you through what are the ways to connect with the exhibitors. Once you click here, you get into the exhibition hall. This is the bird's eye view of the exhibition area. We have all our exhibitors booths displayed here. You have to click on an individual booth if you wish to talk to Tata Power or you talk to Amazon Web Services, you just have to click on the booth and you'll be able to get close to the exhibition booth, BSES Yamuna, BSES Rajdhani. You can download, clicking on the right side top button, you can download the brochure, view their corporate video, and there is a bottom button to talk to them live. So there are our exhibitors their representatives are there to talk to you, to be able to interact with you and respond to any of the queries you may have, just the way we do it physically. So I hope this brings an excellent experience connecting digitally with all the partners and all the other delegates. So I hope welcome you all again, and hope you have a wonderful experience with the Digital Distribution Utility Meet. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you very much once again, Ms. Suri. And now I'm going to quickly hand over the stage to Dr. Ganesh Das, Head of Collaborations, Innovation and R&D with Tata Power Delhi Distribution Limited and CEO of Clean Energy International Incubation Center, to please now render the word of thanks. Sir, Dr. Das, all yours.
Thank you, Aishwarya, and thank you, ISGF, for giving me this opportunity to deliver the vote of thanks. We have seen from the speaker, we have heard them, that communication and technology is surely a catalyst and a facilitator for helping us to deliver the services to the consumers. The clean energy technology is going to be critical, and once we are looking to develop or rather implement the technologies, the important part is how does it get implemented in a integrated fashion, and then how do we use data and information for delivering better value to the customers. And then customer, what is looking is largely looking for a better expected better service from the customer, expect higher value from the consumers is something which we need to look forward to. And the value-added services coming either through rooftop or any other similar mechanism is going to be really welcome to deliver that value to the customer. The business process engineering is going to be critical, which continues to be an ongoing phenomena, and it will assume importance as we move forward and implement different technologies for betterment of the stakeholders. And of course, the collaboration programs are important. The way the USAID it is important to learn from different platforms and address. And the energy, we have to be resilient to whatever changes which is happening at the marketplace and the expectation of the customer. Having said that, the importance of DUM is really coming up, and the importance of sharing of knowledge and learning is critical. And that is what we are trying to do through this DUM program. And then not only in the area of technology, but business finance, developing business models, and of course, the favorable and the balanced regulatory framework is going to be very critical. Having said that, it is very important to have people who are going to play a critical role in bringing this diverse amount of knowledge and understanding, who are really the people who are really passionate and who can really motivate the entire fraternity to really deliver the kind of services and the expectations of the customer. And for that, we are really thankful to Sri S.N. Sahai, Secretary, Ministry of Power, for his support and the support of the Power Department and Government of India for making all this happen. Sri Rakesh Sarwal, Additional Secretary, Niti Aayog, Sri Kapil Mohan, Principal Secretary, Energy, Karnataka, Sri Anshu Badwas, CEO, Shakti Sustainable Energy Foundation, Ms. Karen Klimoski, USAID India, Sri Amal Sinha, CEO, BSES Rajdhani, Sri Ajay Kaul, Head, AWS, and Mr. Praveer Sinha, MD, Tata Power Company Limited. And the importance of the collaboration is really exhibited by the diverse level of people and the diverse understanding of people who are there in the stage today, and also to the subsequent programs to come. Having said that, I think we are also sitting on a very large opportunity of looking at multiple or different kind of talent, in the sense that we have already had a clean cooking paper launched. And what we see is the expansion of the definition of electricity to livelihood, and clean cooking is going to definitely play a big role. And this is going to also trigger a lot of new companies, startups, and incubation opportunities, which can possibly give the strategic advantage to India, and also to give much more innovative, scalable, and cost-effective solution to take it forward. Having said that, I once again thank all the dignitaries and everyone present, and we wish, and for the behalf of ISGF and all the partners, a very pleasant and a learning experience through DUM 2020. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Das, for that heartening word of thanks. Thank you so much. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to that stage where we should thank our partners, sponsors, everyone once again. And, Distribution Utility Meet 2020 is powered by Amazon Web Services. Let me take the opportunity of playing a special video, which is titled Innovation and Power and Utilities with Amazon Web Services. Let's take a look.
the reason that we did choose AWS over other environments, I think, was that we felt the culture of the AWS was very similar to either the culture that we believe that we have internally or the one that we're trying to recreate. And that is that it's a customer-orientated company, which is very important to us. Two, it's based on innovation, which is important for us as well, given the changing landscape of the energy market. It's very focused on value creation, which is very important for us as well. It made it very easy for AWS to understand what our business pressures were, because we effectively spoke the same language.
And the thing that I'm just thrilled about, the thing that really keeps me going when I look into the future, is something that will allow us to lower our cost and be more innovative. And that is getting out of the data center business altogether.
AWS has had an amazing impact on my business.
Using AWS services is almost like having a second development team working alongside us, allowing us to innovate faster and deliver a great experience to our customers.
I'm always surprised about the pace of innovation.
And we elected AWS IoT as the enabling platform for IoT in ML, because we needed a scalable, reliable, and integrated solution on which to build our new energy management system.
So that concludes the inaugural session. I thank all the esteemed panelists, our esteemed dignitaries who spared the time to be here. And I'd like to once again render my thanks to all our speakers, all our attendees as well, who were here with us for the inaugural session.